Problem number 3 asks us to provide a 1 to 2 sentence written statement that describes the story told by the graph we see here in green. We're also told to make your description as precise, that means as exact with numbers as you can. So again, making a description that's precise, we're going to write a couple sentences that use numbers to precisely describe the story we see on this graph. So the first thing that I want to see is I see this green line. I want to pick out a couple data points that we can use to help tell the story for this straight line that starts at the origin. I see one data point right here, and we've put that on our whiteboard. It's lined up right between the 2 and the 3, so that would be 2.5 for the x value of the hours. And the y value is lined right up with 2,000, so that's where we came up with the 2,000 you see on the whiteboard there. Since I don't like decimals, it would be good to look at another point as well. We picked out a second data point. If you keep following this line, you see it hits the corner of the grid box up here, where y, the distance, is equal to 4,000, and where x, the hours in flight, is equal to 5. So the first thing we can say in our written statement, if we start to talk about the story, is it's describing some kind of flight. So there's a plane ride from Boston to Paris. And when we talk about that plane ride from Boston to Paris, we know in 2.5 hours, it went 2,000 miles. Oh, sorry, they're not miles, they're kilometers. And we also know that in 5 hours, it went 4,000 kilometers. And if we want to get even more exact, more precise, we can start to see something about our speed. If we know how much the distance is changing and how much time it's taking, if we do y divided by x, which you all have done for unit rate before. For example, if we took 4,000, and we'll go ahead and full screen this. If we take our 4,000 km for kilometers, and we divide that by the 5 hours it took, I know that 40 divided by 5 would be 8. So 4,000 divided by 5, bigger by 2 powers of 10, would equal out to 800 kilometers for every 1 hour. So again, if we take that 4,000 kilometers, the graph tells us they traveled in a total of 5 hours. We could simplify that ratio to get a unit rate of 800 kilometers every hour. And if we check our other data point, take a look at our calculator up here. If we did 2,000 divided by 2.5, we'd also get to another 800 kilometers per hour if we use the red data point. So one last thing and a very helpful thing to know is the unit rate. I would say the plane travels at a constant speed. The straight line tells us that. And the speed is actually 800 kilometers per hour. So again, using either one of these data points or any other one I could find on the green line, if I take y and I divide it by x, we're finding 800 kilometers an hour. That's the constant of proportionality, or in this case, kilometers divided by hours, distance divided by time, is actually telling us the speed for the flight from Boston to Paris.